very good evening. Welcome to State of Business on our television. I'm Ashinsani Veerasinghe. Let's have a look at the headlines for today. Economic analyst stresses that the root cause of many issues in the country is the low income levels. Sri Lanka's vehicle registrations fell to 24,472 units in November 2019, marking the lowest since the June 2013. News in detail. Economic analyst Varuna Singapuli stresses that the root cause of many issues in the country ultimately boils down to the low income levels or the fact the workers are underemployed. Economic analyst Singapuli made these observations during an interview done with the Art Television, the Biz Watch program.
In my view, the root cause for most of the problems is the fact that most of us are underpaid. The income levels are too low. So that's why everybody gets frustrated, because on one side the income is low and on the other side there's no hope that it will grow. There's no hope of opportunity, there's no hope of career progression and all that. So that's why people are frustrated and they move on to all the wrong things, from stealing, from corruption, leaving the country, drugs and so on. So if we could increase the income levels of everybody, and if we can bring in more opportunities for everybody, then they'll be more focused on those aspects rather than moving on to the wrong things. So, and also why I said from the very beginning is because structural changes take time. See, for any government to do these structural changes, it takes time. So that's why they have to start from day one. They can't be making plans, because for you to really achieve something, it will take 2-3 years at least, so that the people can see the results of all these measures by the 3rd, 4th years. So if you don't do that from the very beginning, the time will be that much short and you will not be able to make much of an impact or impression.
Speaking further, Varuna Singapuli noted that Sri Lanka should be specific in handling foreign relations in order to access right foreign markets and new technologies.
There are few things to be done. At the heart of the remedial measures would be the foreign relations. See, today is a global economy. We see even the largest of economies, from US to China, even they engage with each other, negotiate, because nobody can develop on their own. We need the other as well. So that's why Sri Lanka should also realize that we need the assistance of the international players. So that would involve negotiations, which takes time. So on one side, there are two key things that we need. One is the technology of today's world, and the other is the access to market for such technological products and services. So to make inroads on these two key segments, we need foreign assistance. So one key thing to do is the foreign relations part, which takes time. Negotiations take time. So that's something that we have to start from day one. And apart from that, there are other structural things like fiscal expenditure, where the government has to focus on. So those are, I would say, are the critical structural things they have to work on. If I'm a bit more specific, see, with China, if we have to negotiate with China, but what we should ask them is very clearly should be explained to them. See, what I believe is we need to tell them, see, they have large companies, medium companies, small companies. We need to tell them, we want your companies to come and shift at least part of your production base or service bases to Sri Lanka. See, they have their large companies like Huawei's and Lenovo's, and then they have a whole heap of other companies. See, China exports hundreds of billions of dollars to the rest of the world. We need only a part.
You can watch the full interview at 7 p.m. on this Sunday from Biz Watch program. Moving on, Sri Lanka's vehicle registrations fell to 24,472 units in November 2019, the lowest since the June 2013, amid a collapse of a flexible exchange rate and election in November. An analysis of vehicle registry data compiled by JB Securities said that unlike other imports, restrictions on vehicle imports have been relaxed and vehicles provide large volumes of tax revenues due to high rates of taxation. Sri Lanka's vehicle registrations fell to 24,472 units in November 2019, the lowest since the June 2013, amid a collapse of a flexible exchange rate and election in November. A Colombo-based equities brokerage, JB Securities, announced. In June 2013, vehicle registrations fell to 24,415, down from 47,500 in January 2012, after rates were hiked and currency was floated after a rate cut and several months of liquidity injections triggered a balance of payments crisis. Motorcar registrations fell to 2,030 units in November from 2,512 in October and 7,226 units in May 2018. Motorcycle registrations fell to 18,540 units in November from 21,918 units in October. In November, 638 crossovers and sports utility vehicles were registered, down from 738 in October, 101 pickups down from 149, 158 light trucks down from 217, and 55 heavy trucks down from 101. Registration of buses also fell to 152 from 206 a month earlier. The Consulate General of Sri Lanka in Mumbai, in collaboration with the Export Development Board Sri Lanka, organized a production process improvement and market penetration program for SME exporters of Sri Lanka in Mumbai recently. Accordingly, the objective of this program was to promote new entrepreneurs for the international market by learning the experience of SME sector in India. The 14-member Sri Lankan delegation, consisting of SME sector on tea, spices, processed vegetables and fruits, processed food, cinnamon, participated at the Annapurna Anufood India 2019 exhibition in Mumbai. The delegation had B2B meetings with the representatives from the Forum of Indian Importers, officials from trade-related regulatory authorities, importers and exhibitors representing the food and beverage industry of India. The delegation also attended a roundtable discussion on changing flavors of the food business, opportunities and challenges, organized by the Forum of Indian Food Importers on the sidelines of Annapurna Anufood 2019. Interactive sessions between the Sri Lanka delegation and the officials from Spice Board of India and Food Safety and Standards Authority of India were organized to improve and learn packaging and labeling requirements in Indian market. Welcome back after the break. Election Monitoring Board PAFREL states that past presidential election is the most peaceful presidential election in recent times. However, showcasing the interim report of the presidential election today morning, PAFREL Executive Director stressed that one of the key issues of the election was the violation of media ethics by the media outlets.
In generally, we compare with the past presidential elections went in a peaceful manner. There was a less violence and less violation we have reported compared with 2005, 10 and 15 presidential elections. But one of the critical issue which we have observed, the media was biased towards some political party and the candidate. So if we wanted to have a pre-fair elections, so we have to have a fair media space for each and every political party. So we wanted to bring the Elections Commissioner's notice and also the authorities' attention on this, and we have to come up with new legal framework for not for really controlling the media, but they need to balance the media for especially during the elections period. So we propose to the Elections Commission that he can categorize in a positive manner. He can categorize the media station who are running the media station in a neutral manner during the elections period. And under the elections, he can have a award ceremony maybe to appreciate the media where they are playing a neutral role during the elections.
Speaking further, PAFREL Executive Director Rohani Hettiarachchi stressed that for the first time, PAFREL monitored the social media platforms in the recent presidential election. Thus, Rohani Hettiarachchi also stressed that new laws to regulate social media platforms during the cooling period of the election times should be enforced, since many social media violation cases are reported.
First time in election history, PAFREL did a social media monitoring in these elections, and we have reported nearly 2,000 cases, violations of the elections law by the social media. And again, we are not asking to control the social media, but they also need to play a neutral manner, especially the hate speech we have reported during this period. And also the fake news was quite high, even cooling period. We need to appreciate the mainstreaming media during cooling period. They behave in a well manner, but unfortunately social media was not like that. They violate the elections law the whole period. So we are asking to bring the new law for the social media to balance the during the elections period.
Now, a detailed analysis of the review on the stock performances for the past week and a stock forecast for the coming week will be brought to you by a subject expert at First Capital Holdings.
The market was volatile during the week with some upward movement on Tuesday and Thursday, while Wednesday we saw was on a holiday. Low turnover levels continued to hold the market due to the festive season. Foreign activity in the market died down during the week to very low levels, while some foreign buying was witnessed on Monday. We expect the market activity to remain dull in the coming week as well, primarily due to the ongoing festive season. Overall, BOSE is likely to remain stagnant with low turnover levels and volume. We expect foreign activity to also remain dry in the coming week with less interest in the market at the moment.
That's all the news for today. Join us tomorrow with Biz Roundup. Until then, take care.